All right, welcome back to Buy Guys Crypto, episode 2. I'm Raff,
I'm Jeff.
I'm Stu.
and we are here to talk everything crypto. This is a show where mania rules, cautions rules. We play the fools for your viewing pleasure. It is 20% knowledge, 30% baloney, and 50% hops and barley. Proceed accordingly. On that note, just a reminder, a caveat, if you will. This is not financial advice. We are a handful of Gen X beer guzzling, old school college fraternity brothers on the internet. And if you take advice from us in that regard, you are a moron. So please don't do that. This is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to have a great time tonight. And we are coming at you on episode 2. We're just all about experimentation here. We are going to push the boundaries. We have multiple time zones happening and multiple non-domicile locations, I do believe. I am coming to you from the beautiful Outer Banks of North Carolina, Duck to be particular. And I think, Noah, you're like a different time zone, aren't you?
I am on Pacific time. It's what is it? Almost 6 o'clock here in sunny 100-degree Las Vegas. It's a little cooler now, but good to be here from the West Coast.
And Stu, he's just, he did deck out his background. I got to give him some credit.
No, you referenced the duck. Well, this is it. And then the wife said, if I'm going to do a show and drink beer, I should at least do it in my little bar area. So we'll see more ducks moving forward.
So we're happy to be here.
Cheers.
We're gonna zip through tonight. We're gonna have a blast and a lot of exciting updates. I don't know about you guys. We started off strong, but we're gonna like crush it this week. Let's check out our portfolio. Let's see how the status is on our portfolios. And frankly, we actually question whether or not this is a worthwhile segment to continue. Here's a quick update on mine, which isn't really changed significantly. I think the value is increased in VET and TEL, which has caused maybe a slight percentage increase in terms of my overall portfolio, but mostly I'm still in the Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum long-term hodl on that. Are you guys seeing any major changes or shifts in your portfolios this past week?
Jeff, I'll defer to you.
Yeah, not a big change for me this week, to be honest. Not much activity on my end, except for one asset I put a little bit of money into at the beginning of the week, and that's XRP. So I went up a fair amount in XRP. Maybe it's you guys rubbing off on me, but I think there's definitely some utility in that coin long term. And certainly the last week, it's been, the market's been down, so everything's on sale, and it seemed like XRP was on clearance. So I went pretty heavy into XRP, at least from my perspective the last week. That's the only change on my end.
The XRP Army's glad to hear it. And again, when it's at 80 cents, it's hard not to jump on it. So like you, Jeff, that's the little bit of change. I might have added a bit more XRP to what little bag I have of it. And the Cardona continues to do what it's doing for me, and I'm adding a bit there. So really no change, because I continue to load up on really the two strongest bags and that I have going. So no real change to report there, Robert.
Well, I'm the same. I haven't adjusted my portfolio. I did take note this afternoon. I listened to a little bit of BitBoy, just a little plug for one of our fellow YouTubers out there. He's probably one of the leading personalities on YouTube. He said this is a good time to reevaluate. Maybe rebalance, restructure your assets. We're in a bit of a sideways market right now. Maybe not a bad idea. Anyway, things are looking normal for all of us. So we're going to move on to the next section, which is going to be a little bit more exciting. That's news you can use. And this is where Noah always brings some important information to our attention, and then we react to it like complete idiots that we are.
Well, I tried to, and if let's see, I'm going to try to. So in the spirit of experimentation, as Raff mentioned, we're doing this from the iPad remotely. First time screen share here. So hopefully you guys can see this.
Yes, sir. It's coming through to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, beautiful. So a story from it was all on CoinDesk, but what I thought interesting about this, and if you guys recall, I think on our first news you can use segment, these are all just articles and things that are centered around topics that and I'm sure Raff and Stu are still learning about, right? So I thought this article was interesting because a few weeks back, China had talked about publishing or starting a digital, how do you pronounce this? Yuan? What's
Yuan.
the yuan?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but China's kind of a pioneer here, for better or for worse. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about, nation states doing, or central banks doing, their own blockchain digital currency. So found this pretty fascinating. It was, about a week and a half ago, this article was published that said 80% of central banks are exploring CBDC use cases. So don't feel bad if you don't know this. I had to Google it myself. I'm like, what is CBDC? It's central bank digital currencies. And if you're wondering, well, how many central banks are there? I actually did a little additional research for everybody because I was curious. It's about 200, a little more than 200 central banks in the world that could issue or have a play in exploring this. So, you do the math, you're looking at, 150 plus that are actually looking at this. And if you go down through the article, it lists the number of countries, including Hong Kong, Thailand, China, Australia, Singapore, and Japan.
Who's missing from that list, Noah? There's an important country that I don't see on there. It could be the one that we live in. What's going on? Is the USA involved in this stuff? What's happening, man?
That's a great question. So if I remember correctly, and I know you're probably leading me somewhere that you might have an answer, but the U.S. is exploring this, or having a white paper published on, exploring the topic of a digital currency. So why is this important? And, we'll just open it up for you guys to weigh in. I think it's important because countries are starting to take blockchain technology and a digital currency seriously. And, you've got proof here that several countries are exploring that. China is the first to actually initiate it. And, although there are parts of a nation state having a digital currency, a CBDC, that, isn't independent, isn't decentralized, and, isn't like Bitcoin, a finite amount of resource, it does vote in favor of the utility of the technology being a legitimate replacement for, cash. So I thought this was an interesting article to share, just to show some of the countries that are looking at this, and that this is something that, undoubtedly we're going to see one day. And it's just a matter of when is that tipping point where, the United States, China, several of the, first world countries go in on having a digital coin replace their or complement their currencies. So I don't know. I'll open up to you guys. What do you guys think about CBDCs? Do you know anything about it? Were you learning about it for the first time like I was? Do you think this is a great thing? Do you think this is indifferent? Or are you indifferent about it? What's the Raff and Stu? What say ye?
Well, first of all,
I don't have the, a BS in blockchain or a PhD in CBDC. So, I'm always curious how and why this matters to a numbskull like me, sitting here kind of new to this world. Why should I look at this and think, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to drill down into this a little more. Why does it matter? Why does it matter to a new investor like me that's got just, a little bit of skin in the game at this point moving forward?
It's a great question. I don't have an answer for you, but I could try to make one up. And in the fact that it validates blockchain as a technology in the financial space, right? Sure. I don't know, Raff, you probably have a way more intelligent answer, but it just, to me, tells me things are trending in the direction of blockchain technology, and, platforms like Ethereum and Cardano, as you mentioned earlier, and several others that, could be huge.
Sure.
Noah, you greatly overestimate my knowledge on this space. You say CBDC, I feel like CBGBs. I want to hear some talking heads and Tom Club. I don't understand this stuff. But let me say this. I'll say it does seem to validate or offer some amount of support for the notion that this is a future technology, and the governments are going to get on board with it. That's going to be an interesting contest, because I think in the spirit, in a sense, cryptocurrency in some ways is all about like stateless currency. In some ways, you want to have this ideal. I mean, some Bitcoin maximalists might say the whole notion of having this technology in the first place is to avoid having a state control it, so you can't be monitored and tracked, all your expenses and transfers and that sort of thing. So I don't know where it's all going. It's fascinating stuff. I've heard good things about the potential for Ethereum to be used as the basis for the China CBDC, if that's correct. That's a big speculation right now that could just completely moon Ethereum in terms of its utility. But I don't know as much as any of you on this, guys. It's totally new for me. It just seemed to be like seemed to be a signal of legitimacy. The more that governments get on board, the more sort of now. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stop talking, guys. I don't even.
Let's just talk about here. You referenced an interesting contest. You mentioned the moon. So to me, I say we table this conversation and really move forward and take a look at the Moon Bulls contest, because really that's what you're here for. I know that's what you're here for, Rob, because you're actually doing a little better than the two of us. So I say that's the interesting contest that we move towards.
Yeah, we're going to move to the Moon Bowls running of the Moon Bowls. And guess what, folks? I was in last place last week, but apparently this week I made up some ground. You know, I said correctly, let's get into some of these smaller coins, these altcoins, VET, baby. And that has just performed extraordinarily well. Here's a quick screenshot of the latest status of our contest. And again, I was in third place last week, but now I'm doing extraordinarily well. I can't find.
It's hard to imagine in the crypto environment that it could fluctuate that quickly. Hard to imagine.
It is worth noting we're all down at the moment, right? This is depressing. It's been a rough market the past couple of weeks. Like we've been in this contest for 3 weeks roughly. And the rules were we started out with $50, or we started $100 or 50. I think we started with $50 each, and then we put in $25 the weeks after that. I think VET is what pulled me up big time. I mean, OGN's not. I mean, I don't even know what that coin does, but it's kind of trash right now. Noah, what's happened with AMP? I heard AMP was like on a downslide, Stu. What's going on?
No. Listen, boys, on a day like today, okay, when we have so much, I think, to be thankful for, honoring those, men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice, for our freedoms. I don't think in good conscience, allow myself to get worked over a little dip in my portfolio. But I'm going to tell you this, that my XRP army, they know where I'm at and they know that I'm in it long-term, but that's why I let off with XRP. Okay. But for this 10-week challenge, I think that I'm taking a quantity approach. I moved a bit. I moved away from XRP week 1. Rob, you want to take a shot at my AMP, and that's okay. Because you're going to have another chance to take another shot at AMP, because I'm loading up on it again. 649 more tokens coming this week. So again, quantity over maybe initially quality, and that's just me being a loyalist to the XRP army. But now I'm going to be sitting at about 1,300 AMP shares, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with my portfolio where it's at right now. Again, down 25% this week. I'll be up 15% next week. That's just kind of the crypto world. So again, enjoy this week. Allow yourself to enjoy it. But we'll talk again soon.
All right, Noah, what are you into this week, man?
I mean, I'm an opportunist. I went for, I think about a week ago, Raff, you may have made the comment, this is your last chance to get XRP under $1. And then about 3 days later, you had sent another message saying, this is your last chance to get XRP under 90 cents. And it was kind of a running joke for the last week. And how do I not go after XRP at 87 cents? So that was what I loaded up on this week. I'm going to stay kind of in the margins between the guardrails with proven projects. I don't know anything about AMP. It sounds great. You may be a millionaire tomorrow.
Yes.
But I know that XRP has some utility and there's some buzz around it. For somebody not very intelligent about all this,
it's almost a little dirty that you're doing this now. It's almost a little dirty that you're going after XRP now, but that's okay. If you want to play that game, that's what you'll do.
I get it. They do say though, this is some wise sage advice: buy low, sell high. So at 87 cents, I certainly bought low. So we'll see. Maybe I'll make some catch up this week. I think it's already up 20 cents from when I bought it, and I'm excited to see where it goes a week from now. So XRP all the way.
So this is where I get to say, I just feel awkward at these moments in our conversations, our weekly discussions, when I had a similar thought. And it's like, again, if we're at a restaurant and we're on a date, Noah, and you order the filet mignon, I don't want to order the same dish. I feel like I'm still courting you and we're working on this relationship. It can't be that weird, right? I was going to get XRP this week, but now I'm second guessing myself because I want to mix it up. I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to be boring. I think you're wise to pick XRP because that is going to moon soon. There's a lot of interesting litigation. There's some developments out there that I think suggest if things break the right way, you're talking 10x within the next 4 weeks. It's going to be remarkable.
Sure.
So it's difficult for me to forego purchasing that. But I'm going to have to forego it. I'm going to double down on my vet, dude. Take your Doge to the vet. That's what they say, because you don't need these dog coins. You need utility. And I'm telling you, long term and short term, by the way, for the sake of this contest, vet, I think, is what kicked me from third to first place. It went from like 9 cents to 11 cents over the past week. I think it's going to go up more. I don't know what basis I have to make that claim, but we're gonna double down. $25 of VETs on the horizon. I'm gonna get it before the end of the night.
I like the dynamic here where 2 of the 3 of us have gone back to the coin they invested in last week. I like it. It's a really interesting dynamic to the contest that's now unfolding 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in. I don't know how many weeks we are into this.
I'm curious how this is going to evolve over the next couple of weeks. And frankly, I do believe, even though we're all down right now, let's just take a moment to take stock of the situation. We've each put in what will now be, after tonight, $100 total. So $300 total between the 3 of us. We're all down some amount. But I do think by the time this contest ends, we're all going to be up big. So this is the perfect time to be buying these speculative coins, man. And I think XRP is actually a wise choice. I almost hesitate to give you that ground because I'm seeding some, but Stu has it from 2 weeks ago. You have it maybe I'm going to hit it up next week. Maybe next week I get to announce my coin first, because then I won't have to feel guilty about picking the same coins as you losers.
That's what I was going to suggest, but
yeah, we can do round robin. We'll make it. We're making the rules up as we go, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom line,
I'm going to go on record and say, and neither one of you is going to jump on the AMP wagon, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because, again, we still have some weeks to go. We have weeks to go.
What exchange do you buy that on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What exchange do you buy that on?
Well, I've bought it in my Gemini the past few weeks.
I just got to tell you, I'm on too many exchanges at the moment, and I don't know how.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy. Why don't you need to go after Raff with that? I limit mine to about 3 or 4. He's got about 14. So.
I got some assets frozen on this thing called Hotbit. It's like some sketchy site out of China. I can't even access. So
I might suggest that as a topic, and I don't know if we could do a spotlight of our, lack of experience for Stu and I, but Raff, for you've got some things on the fringes of the space that I think would be just interesting to talk about. So maybe we can carve out 5 minutes on a future show and you can just walk us through where you have money.
Let's hit that up next week. And then in future weeks, we'll hit other fun topics like, hey, congratulations, Noah. You actually transferred Bitcoin or Ethereum. You transferred some asset this past week and it was like butt pucker, right? Because you didn't even know. It was like
yeah. We can definitely talk about that, but it's a transfer from Coinbase to KuCoin, and it's the worst experience in financial management ever.
And it makes you wonder, what are we doing, fellas? Really? You know what we're doing? We're playing the game, because it's like the lottery. You got to play to win. In crypto, you got to buy to fly to the moon, baby. Yeah. So we'll see you next time on the Bye, guys. It's been a great one. Have fun out there in Vegas, man. Enjoy yourself. Stu, I love the duck background. We're stepping it up each and every week. We'll do it again next Monday, fellas. Have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers.